Mhm.
Did you get a lot of inspiration from her? Is that Michelle's mom?
All right, yes, yes. And it's so crazy. I just picked her up at the airport from Vietnam last night.
No way.
I did. And then I would, bring her like past the old house that we used to live. I was like, what's so crazy? 17 years ago, you picked me up at the airport. Now I'm picking you up. And it's almost 20 years later. It's just
Oh my,
like a full, like,
full circle moment.
yeah, I'm just driving and thinking, God, I cannot believe I've been here this long.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like so crazy. Yeah.
Aw, you give me goosebumps. Sorry. It's discontinued. Well, hi there. Thanks for joining me on Sorry, It's Discontinued. I'm Hilary, your host, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm really excited for you to meet Cole today. Not only is Cole a fragrance expert, he's a real estate pro, he's a foodie, a yogi, chef, culinary innovator behind his brand Cay Sauce. He's really just deeply inspiring and he's fearless. He moved to Houston from Vietnam at 16 when he started high school in 11th grade. This is where he made lifelong friends because honestly, when you meet him, you get it. He's warm, he's funny, full of heart. Well, after high school, he enrolled at Houston Community College. At HCC, he studied hotel and restaurant management. Plus, he was a part of their culinary program. Okay, so side note. Did you know that HCC has a 38,000 square foot culinary arts building? It has a culinary arts and baking pastry arts program. It's crazy. Houston Community College has produced some of the most influential chefs in the world, like Felipe Riccio, who snagged a Michelin star just recently in March, and Hugo Ortega, a James Beard Award winner, which actually I did know that because side note, I worked for him as a busser, server assistant at Backstreet Cafe in 1998-99. Okay, old. Anyway, after Cole finished his 4 years at HCC, he dove into Houston's restaurant scene, where he worked for a decade, making a name for himself and working with some of the best chefs and mentors in the country who really influenced him, like Christine Ha, a Vietnamese American chef and author who gained national recognition as the first blind contestant and winner of MasterChef Season 3. Cole was a huge part of her restaurant, The Blind Goat, in downtown Houston. It's really amazing. Eventually, this path led him into luxury retail, where I met him. We worked together for a few years. He worked across from me, and we became good friends. In this episode, we're going to talk about his journey being a new kid in Houston to a restaurant veteran and a sales expert. So let's get into it. I love saying that. Hi, Cole. Welcome to Sorry It's Discontinued.
Hi, Hilary.
I'm so
So
glad you're
happy and
here.
excited to be here. We've been talking about this moment for so long,
I
and now
know.
finally it's happening. Such a dream come true for me and for you.
Yeah. So much has happened in such a short time. I know. It's funny thinking about when we started doing or sitting at, in the break room
Yeah.
and talking about our goals and ambitions, dreams. So, and now here you are in front of me.
Yeah. So proud of you. I will
Thank
try not
you.
to cry.
I have tissues here. I would hand
Oh
it to
yeah.
you, but it's
I
remote.
think I have it right there. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I really just, when I knew I was going to do this, I wanted to absolutely have you on, and I just admire you so much and your story, especially just looking at all the things that you've been through and where you came from. And so it's funny too. I was thinking this morning about when you and I would have the morning meet or be at a morning meeting at a store, and it was like 9:15, 9:30, and then uh, after the meeting, I'd be like, "Oh, so what did you do today?" And you'd have already done like three or four things. Like you meditated, you went to yoga, you might have made some sauce, and then you go to work.
Yeah. And
So
now I
you're
even wake up earlier because I want to have like more time to do in the morning.
wow. So how early are you waking up?
So now it's 6.
Okay. Well, it's a
right?
healthy time, you
Yeah.
know,
I mean, it's from 8 to 7 and not to 6. Pretty good.
8 to 7 to 6. Yeah. Well, and you have your me time before, you're focusing on work or clients
Yeah,
or
for sure.
all the other things that you're doing. So, anyway, so thank you so much. I really want to get into the beginning of your story. I know you grew up in Vietnam, which I
Mhm.
have such a deep admiration and love for. I mean, my children are half Vietnamese, and their dad came from Vietnam, from Van Thiet. So I know growing up there, you had such a love for fashion and different things. What can you think of, like, going back in that time, like your earliest memory of when you fell in love with fashion or food or all your passions, really?
Okay, let's start with fashion. So I was really fortunate growing up with one of my cousin. We pretty close when we was younger. Her name is Michelle.
Oh,
She's like much older, 3 years older than me. So she
okay.
is like a fashion icon to me.
Oh,
So she all about the trend, and then she always helped me to, like get the coolest stuff. And then when I hang out with my friends, people always think, "Oh my God, you're so fashionable." And I think from there, I think that how I start with like
it really
my
inspired you.
exactly. It's so funny. I never tell anybody about this, but
Oh,
if Michelle she listened to this, she will know exactly. And then later, she came to America. She would like send me stuff from here so I can wear in Vietnam. So to my friends, I'm like always a cool kid, know what to wear.
so it was like a
And
mixture of like American clothes, Vietnamese
yeah,
clothes, kind of a whole combination.
and then I always watch like Disney Channel and like High School Musical and stuff. I would like learn like,
The
okay, what are they
best.
wearing? Yeah, like what are they wearing? Okay, so that's what I learned too. Yeah, very intrigued. Yeah.
Well, so when she moved, she was sending you these clothes. How old were you?
No, like later, like she came to America like early 2000.
Okay.
So yeah, that. And
Oh,
then later 2007 I came here because of her.
wow. So that was 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I know because that's when my son was born. So
Mm, that's crazy.
it is crazy. I know he's going to be 18 in August. But
Me too. I'll
anyway,
be 18 in August too.
you look like it. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I don't doubt it for a second. Baby face. Well, so that's really beautiful, and I appreciate you sharing that. I know that your family has been really, especially your aunt, from what you've told
Mhm.
me, has been a huge support of yours, and especially when you came to America, and she really just is like your second mom. Did you get a lot of inspiration from her? Is that Michelle's mom?
All right, yes, yes. And it's so crazy. I just picked her up at the airport from Vietnam last night.
No way.
I did. And then I would, driving her like past the old house that we used to live. I was like, what's so crazy? 17 years ago, you picked me up at the airport. Now I'm picking you up, and it's almost 20 years later. It's
Oh
just
my,
like a full like,
full circle moment.
yeah, I'm just driving and thinking, my God, I cannot believe I've been here this long.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like so crazy. Yeah.
Oh, you give me goosebumps. That, like, wow, that's really cool. Okay, it's
Yeah.
okay. I love that.
Like when I came here to America 17 years ago, I was like, oh my God, what is this? What happening? It's a lot. I'm in a different world.
Yeah.
And there's my aunt picking me up. So yeah. And 17 years later, I'm picking her up.
How old were you?
I was
And if you don't want to tell me, because I know you'd get
16. I was 16.
16.
Yeah. I
Wow.
didn't think much,
Mm.
but yeah.
How did you feel? I mean, to which, or move lives from Vietnam
Ye-
and w- I forget where in Vietnam you're
From Saigon.
from Saigon.
Yeah.
So, moving here, and because I know from, talk, he came when he was 12. And one of the first things that they did was like go to McDonald's and just being immersed in this culture, how overwhelming it was, especially he didn't speak any English.
Me neither.
And so you didn't either.
Almost didn't make it from LAX because we have to transit. We have to go out and then find a terminal to connect flight to Houston.
Yeah.
When they tell me like to go out, I was like, what do you mean? I don't know anything. And then luckily I found a Vietnamese woman and she helped me to get to the correct terminal for Houston. And we was on the same flight.
Wow. She was like an angel that you
I
ran into
know,
at the
if you put it
airport.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I heard some
Wow.
of my friend they couldn't find a terminal. They got stuck in LA for a little bit.
Yeah.
This could be me, but yeah.
But you made it.
I know.
Wow. I'm sure seeing your aunt when she went to pick you up and just seeing her, you must have been so relieved, you
Mhm.
know. Wow. Wow.
And the first thing that the next day my aunt took me to is that Taco Cabana? Is that the
Yes.
place, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I was like, what is this? What are we eating? Right?
Did you like it?
No.
No.
I did not have to eat it, It's so I didn't get it at that point.
Yeah. Well, it's such a huge difference to like Tex-Mex or, Mexican food from eating like
Yeah,
pho in the
Vietnamese food. Yeah,
morning gosh. Well, so how was it, when you came to America, did you have some ideas? And I mean, you were 16, you're still a baba,
yeah,
but did you have those passions in mind or you're just going to go for it and, see how life kind of takes you?
yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
I didn't think much about it. I'm just like so excited to be here because back then everybody want to be in America,
Yeah.
and me too.
Yeah.
Because it's everything's better here based
Yeah.
on, the thing that we seen on TV and stuff. So yeah, it was a dream.
How did you get started into the restaurant business? Because food obviously is such a passion for you. I mean, now with your new business, Cay Sauce, which is
Yeah.
incredible.
Okay, this is a whole thing.
Yeah.
So I was a international student. So I on my school visa. So I went to HCC, finished my 2 years of hotel and restaurant management. And if I finish school at the time, to finish school, I can work for a year and
Hmm.
then I have to go back to Vietnam.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm on international student visa,
Okay.
right? And then I was like, for me, able to stay here, I have to keep going to school. And
Okay.
then I was like, okay, what can I do? Okay, well, that's culinary, and I love to cook too. Why not? It's another year. So that's how I start to went to my culinary journey, and it started from there.
Wow.
I
Now, were
didn't
you
plan
able
it.
to use some of the like recipes from your mom or the inspiration from Vietnam in culinary school? Were they supportive of that, or was it very structured curriculum, kind of
Yeah,
American
it's
food?
exactly. But like I mean, like I love it, the whole experience of
Oh,
culinary school to learn about American cuisine and the world cuisine, to learn about like the basic sauces that I never heard of, and then, all kind of cool stuff.
yeah,
And I learned a lot, and you know, so grateful.
that's awesome. And so
Yeah,
from there, you went into the restaurant business.
I did. I
So, because
did.
I know you were a chef and had helped start, I don't know if it was more than one restaurant or you helped build a restaurant with one of your friends.
Yeah. At the beginning, my culinary start when I was helping one of my friend, and then she introduced me to a chef, Chef Evelyn. She was one of the top three top chef a couple years ago. So she pretty big deal in Houston. Everybody knows about her. And
Wow.
after her, I tried to apply to work with my superhero, my idol, Christine Ha, the blind cook. I just love her so much, and yeah, she hired me. And then I was a part of her brand new Black Goat restaurant, and it was amazing.
That's incredible, though. So you had this person that you really admired, and then you went and you ended up working for
Yeah.
her. I mean, talk about manifestation.
You know what? It's so like we talk about this.
Yeah,
Like we manifesting thing without even knowing we manifesting thing.
absolutely.
Like
I do
when
believe in that.
when Christine won MasterChef, it was so inspiring because she's blind, and then now she's here on the whole thing. She's from Houston, and I got the chance to meet her at book signing. Like yeah, at that time, and then a couple years later, I worked for her. It's just so cool.
It is
I
cool.
mean, yeah.
Aw, she sounds like an amazing person, and to have that experience and being in that environment, with people with the same passions as you and just
And
learning from each other.
yeah, like in Vietnam, a lot of people, everybody knows her because it's such a huge thing back then.
Yeah.
Blind cook, a Vietnamese fly cook, and then one master chef. Like that's why when we open the blind cook at the food hall in downtown, people just want to come and see her. And I was a part of it at the time. Pretty amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people want to work with her. Like when they hiring people, like so many application, but
Mhm.
I was one of five to work with
Mm.
her.
Well, I mean, with you, even when I talk to you and your personality, you're just very genuine. And I know your talents, of course, lead the way too. But um, it's such a wonderful story how you
Yeah.
went from that, and then going into beauty. So was this after with COVID and everything going on, is that how that transition from the restaurant industry into working in luxury retail and beauty or in fragrance or skincare?
I, well, I was working in restaurant industry for a longest time.
Okay.
And after I was a executive chef at Dinette, I got burned out. I
Mm,
was so unhappy.
yeah.
I wasn't myself. I became this very angry person. I would, like the tantrum, and that wasn't
Yeah.
me.
Well, it's
It's
overwhelming.
affecting, yeah, and it's affecting my relationship with my partner, my
Yeah.
friends, and myself. So I was like, you know what? I think I need to change. I need to
Yeah.
regroup. I need to find my balance. It's just too much.
That a lot of people go through that who work in the restaurant industry. I mean, it's like retail and restaurant industry burnout is so real. And
Yeah.
those hours, like how many hours were you working when you were in the restaurant and having even a minute for yourself? You probably
Like,
didn't have very many.
no, like even on my day off, I'm end up at the restaurant by myself, marinating things, sous vide, just getting ready for the next day.
Hmm.
So yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
It was great, but it was a lot
Yeah.
because I want to set my team for success. I'm willing to do all that. So
Hmm.
people come in, we have things ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that makes, the days start well for the customers as they start to come in and so on. But putting all that pressure on yourself to make sure everything is just right, it's exhausting. So was it a friend, or did you just all of a sudden are like, this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to go into beautiful skincare, or let me just start working for an amazing fragrance line. Like, how did that happen?
I do believe, like we said this all the time, everything happened for a reason. My friend was like, why don't you try to work retail? I can see you work at retail. Like, I was like, really? I never think about that. But you know what? I take this as a sign because
Yeah.
two of y'all told me it's a sign. So I was like, let me apply. And I apply to all my favorite store, like Lululemon, Club Monaco, Scotch and Soda. Like, I go with the line that I know, right? Because
Right.
I already know the product and I love them. What
Yes.
else? But nobody respond, right? And then I see Neiman Marcus seasonal. 'Cause it's almost like the holidays time. And
Uh-huh.
then just like this, I go on and talk to the HR at the time, and then she hired me
Uh,
just like that. Even though that day she had like 100 of interview to do, and I got hired for seasonal. I was so excited. It was the
wow.
best day of my life. Like, okay, I made
One
it.
of the many.
I made it. So I said, okay, this is my first step into retail. So,
Score.
and yeah, and I worked at Neiman for like a few months, like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it, everything.
So you were working in fragrance in the men's department, or did
I
you
was at the garden. I was
in
in
the garden
home.
level
Yeah,
in home? Okay.
yeah. So, and then at the
Love
same
that department.
time, i- like the end of my seasonal, I was
Mm-hmm.
asking the manager, I'm interested to be on the sales floor, like beauty or, but at
Yeah.
the time they froze, like sometimes they
Oh,
freeze the
hiring freeze and
hiring freeze.
yeah.
So they say yes, but nothing I can do. And then she's really sweet. She tried to get me with like to become a freelancer first,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't get the job because I didn't have any experience at the time.
Yeah.
And then at that time, one of my colleague, Mika, she came over to Saks because she was at the end of her season or two. We start at the same time. We started
Mm.
at the same time.
I love Mika. Yeah.
And then she was like, she went to Saks, she applied, and she got hired. And then um, she's like, Cole, go apply. They hire you. I was
Oh,
like, okay. And then when I was in the lunchroom at Neiman, as I apply, and then the next day they reach out.
you went from working seasonal in the home department to this beautiful skincare line, which was across from me
Yeah,
at
that's how we met.
TF. And then whenever I would see you, before we really knew each other, the the way that you just dove right in and always showing clients and customers would walk up and yeah, let me take you over there. And you would just, show them everything, even without knowing about the product or the brand. I love that about you. I mean, obviously, you're just so courageous, and have just this positive, courageous mentality. But how was it with the skincare and going from that? Did you have experience? I mean, obviously, your skin's beautiful, and I know you use skincare.
Everything happened for a reason, and I said it pretty like 15 times already.
It's like the theme
Uh,
of our show today.
right. So I was interviewing with one of my manager, and then I applied for a different brand, a fragrance brand that I love so much.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, you know what? Everybody can sell fragrance. That's easy. But I need somebody like you to work at this skincare line, and you have a beautiful skin. This
Mm-hmm.
this is just like so perfect. And I
Right.
was like, okay. I mean, at the time, you want to impress the manager.
Yeah, of
You don't want to
course.
be like, you know what? Let me think about it. No, I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, yes, I would love to. And then that was it. Then that's how I started with skincare.
Did you find, because with
But
that brand, oh, sorry, go
but let's go
ahead.
back a little bit.
Okay.
I always have love for skincare. I always looking for the best new thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime in my head, I was like, damn, I wish I can be partner with a brand and they sponsor me for me to have like use free stuff, and then I would, you know, things like that.
Yes. Yeah, of
I
course.
have that thought, and then the skincare brand that I work with is kind of similar to what I was looking for. Does that make sense?
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
just a different
absolutely.
concept, like not on social media, but like now in real life.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Well, the line, they would really highlight spas and, getting the clients in. Of course, with skincare, you have to have the client come in, touch, feel.
Mm,
You have to sample. Before someone's going to invest $200, $300 plus into just a moisturizer.
yeah.
And, the way that you would lead a lot of those experiences for customers, especially with your spas. I know that like setting up the spa room and when the esthetician would come and they're expecting so much and that pressure, I'm sure being from the restaurant industry, you're so used to that pressure. Did you find that that was just as challenging or kind of similar, or you just kind of rolled with it? I mean, in terms of like your mental health and dealing with that pressure.
It was challenging. It's not easy, but like when I started, I got very lucky. So I
Mm-hmm.
would like book fully for my first spa.
Yeah.
I think what happened was that was a successful. And then the next one is less people, the next one, less people. How to put this correctly?
Well, I mean,
You
they're
know,
expecting you to do these spas once you do one. They want
no,
it
you know
every month
what?
or every 2 months.
No, guess what? I think the client expecting me to do the facial. Like what I think they were expecting me gonna do it, and then after the first one, somebody else doing it, and I was like, oh, that's why
Yeah.
not like half of my male customer didn't show up. I mean, they didn't want to do it again the next time. I learned that pretty later on. I was like, wait a minute, what happened?
See, you were really the driving force for a lot of those events, more so than like the freelance or esthetician, not to take away from their work, but when you
Yeah, I
connect with
think
the
so.
customer at first and you're talking to them about this experience, but you're highlighting the products, they're getting to know you and connecting with you, and you're creating that relationship. And so then they come back and it's a stranger that, obviously they would feel more comfortable with you. So that makes so much sense.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, wow, okay, but I cannot
Uh,
work on your face.
I'm not a licensed esthetician.
I know.
Uh, Full disclaimer, but I do have great hands, and this product's amazing. So yeah, let's do
But
it.
like yes, like you asked about mental health, I think it was stressful.
Yeah.
Because there's 1 month I didn't sell any review. So
Ah,
the manager was like, you are doing good, but not your counter.
well, that's when they started kind of switching too. I mean, this is, I think, before you started at the store, but they were switching from selling a certain larger percentage of your line that you worked for that you could sell more um, in the department and in the store, but it had to be beauty and fragrance mainly. So I do want to talk about something like mental health. You and I have talked a lot about that and supporting each other with mental health in retail and sales and long hours, huge goals, and then you achieve a goal or you don't achieve a goal and you catch your breath and then the next couple days you're in a meeting about your new goal and how much pressure that can put on someone, especially with those hours. You're there at 9:15, 9:30 after being in rush hour. I know for you, you live closer. You're in Houston and you're pretty close to the store. What are some of the things that you've done when you had these huge goals and this pressure to really take care of yourself?
Okay, because coming from restaurant industry,
Mhm.
it's worse, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah.
So I kind of learned from that lesson already. So
Hmm.
when it's applying to retail, I try not to think too much about the number.
Hmm.
Even now that until today, I don't
Yeah.
look at the number. You give me the number, cool, but I'm still gonna do my best. I
Hmm.
cannot rely on the number
Yeah.
to control me. If I feel like if you're trying to control something, that thing gonna end up controlling you.
Yeah.
So what I
I
do,
completely agree.
I just if they come to me and say, okay, this month we have to do 34,000. Yeah, it's like, yeah, let's do it.
What?
I love how ambitious you
Doing
are,
it
but like,
tomorrow.
let's do it, sis.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, done.
Next.
So, I'm reminding myself and the people, my work bestie, at the end of the day, this is just a job, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing my best. I'm doing reach
Yeah.
out, do everything that you're telling me to do. I'm doing it.
Right.
And if I can sell, good. If I cannot sell, it's good too.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
I know work besties make such a difference to be able
Yeah.
to, like what we would do, you go to the break room and you vent and you share and support and then uplift
Yeah.
when you're dealing with all this pressure, especially the numbers and the goals. And
Yeah.
I commend you for that because it's so easy. And I felt like after I went from being a sales advisor to business manager, you really do want to take on that pressure so your team doesn't have to feel it. but really letting go of the number, just focusing on the customer and the experience, supporting each other. I commend you. You've learned this great lesson early in your
Mhm.
career. You're such a great motivator. When people talk to you, you really help balance a lot of that pressure.
And I learned from early retail too. When I started, I was so ambitious. Like
Mm.
I always want sell, 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 sell. If somebody sell more than me, I'm not happy. Like I was like, damn, like beating myself up
Very competitive.
very. But like I don't know when that changed. I was like, you know what? I mean, they have to,
Hmm.
people have to make number. If it meant for you, it will be your sell.
Yeah.
I cannot be so hard on myself,
No.
and I have to learn that. And then I would
Yeah.
cheers for people's success too. Like, oh, you
Mm.
have $5,000 sale. Oh my God, that's so good.
I
I
know.
am so excited for
Well,
my turn,
I think the
you know?
stores, they push that competitiveness because they think that drives their business more so than that team spirit, uplifting each other. I hear that so much, like in the meetings, we would talk about that. Or they would, send those emails about how everybody's doing and who's done the best. And they really create that competitive, more
They do.
aggressive selling environment as opposed to let's do this together. And
They
I've
do.
I've always personally just disagreed with that. I think that you're stronger together. You start talking to your friends and creating that work team and your besties, then that's when we remind each other like, hey, you're doing great. It's okay if you don't make this goal and you're still really good at your job. And
Yeah.
so
It's more than that. I feel like it's more than just like the number.
yeah, absolutely.
It's
Well,
more than that.
it's your whole life. You go there every day,
Hmm.
basically live there, it feels like, with the hours.
Yeah, I cannot be like that every day. No, it's too much.
I know we're getting close to the end of the time. I want to highlight your social media and especially your Cay Sauce. I
Yeah.
am so excited for you. It's so good. I know when I brought it home, I told you after I got a couple bottles from you and I took it home and I gave Talk one. He was like, no, I want both because he loved it so much. So, how is that? How did you start doing this? Like, is this something you've always wanted to do?
Yeah, like it's happened at work too. Because me and my girls, Michelle and Jaylene, we was asking each other, oh, if we can create a product today, what would it be?
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what? I always thinking about making hot sauce. I don't know why, but I want to because like I love spicy food, and all my friends love spicy food. We eat sriracha like every day, right? I was like,
Right.
what's wrong with creating another hot sauce? So that's how it started,
That's amazing.
and now it's
Well,
here.
I'm so proud of you. I love it. I love the label. It tastes incredible. I know anybody who tries it, they love it. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna add your social media information to my link on the website and make sure people can connect with you because you also do real estate and you're just an incredible person and a
thank
wonderful
you.
friend. And I'm just so excited that you've been here with me today. I'm sorry it's discontinued. I really appreciate you, Cole.
I'm so happy to be here. I cannot wait to be back
Ah,
and talk more.
I know. We'll do this again. Absolutely. Well, you have a wonderful day and good luck with your next meeting. And I love
Yeah.
you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Sorry, It's Discontinued. If Cole's story inspired you, or if you just love hearing the real voices from behind the counter, I'd love it if you followed the show, left a review, or shared this episode with a friend. And a little note from me, I'm still learning how to interview and finding my rhythm with how I shape these episodes. It might be obvious. My heart is always with the guests of honor, and I try to weave in fun facts, stories, humor, while honoring the world of retail we've all been a part of. If you have thoughts or suggestions, I genuinely love to hear from you. You can connect with me on my website at sorryitsdiscontinued.com. This podcast is independently produced and not affiliated with or sponsored by any brands, companies, or retail stores mentioned. All stories and opinions are personal and reflect the views of the individual speaking. We keep it real, but this space is meant to be respectful of the brands, stores, and careers we've all worked really hard for. So, until next time, thank you for being here, and remember, a smile or a single act of kindness can brighten someone's day, whether you're behind the counter or in front of it. Sorry. It's discontinued.